Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. On this edition of the program, 45 athletes set for swimming classic in Lagos. Coming in from the world of Formula One, the Australian Grand Prix has started. And in football, Newcastle United clinches its first domestic trophy in nearly 60 years. Details of these and many more will be yours when we return from the break. To Edrado, a lot is coming up, and now he's getting recognition for the efforts he's had as head of sports in Nigeria in the last few months.
Yeah, for me, I think he has made a stellar, start to office since he came on board. And is it surprising? No, because at least going through his track record, he's one man who has, brought a lot to the world of sports. He has that administrative acumen, so, and that is why it's no brainer for me that when he came on board, he hit the ground running, by trying to do one or two things away from the conventional things that the sport minister was doing, trying to revitalize the whole system, trying to also see how we can also put ourselves back on track in terms of sport development. So, courtesy of those lofty initiatives, and then again realigning himself with the thoughts, of the Olympic Committee is one vital aspect. That is why they had to recognize him. So for me, I think this is more like a thumbs up for. But then, to whom much is given, much is also expected. Now that he has been getting all the accolades from different quarters, I think it behoves on him to maintain the standard going.
Well, the show Diko getting recognition, and we hope it will continue to do more, and recognition will not stop, because from the way it's going, a lot of people are seeing the difference in sports administration here in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Director General of the Nigeria Sports Commission, Bukola Olakode, has joined the Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adewale, to decorate the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, as the Grand Patron of the 2025 Women Volleyball Championship. This is looking good. The event, which took place at the Presidential Villa, celebrated the First Lady's relentless support for women's sports development and her commitment to advancing significant causes in Nigeria and of course across the continent. It looks like it's a season of awards and recognition. Even the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is not left out.
Yeah, she's. And the reason why she's been doing a lot as well in terms of female sport development generally. Then you can't forget the massive support she's been given to the, women handball team as well, and other women sports activities. So I think, just like you said, more like a moment of recognition from top performers so far. This is, quarter of the year, and such award coming so early. I mean, it clearly proves to the world that indeed you have been doing your own bit, at least in that small box that you find yourself. You don't necessarily need to be a national sport minister. You don't necessarily need to be, NFF president or an Olympic chartered member before you can do, much. Whichever, a small office or whatever, area you find yourself, you can also add more to the development and improvement of sport. And of course, the First Lady has been doing the recognition, and for me, I think it is the right thing to do, but then more still needs to be done.
African Women Volleyball Championship is expected to be hosted in Nigeria, Abuja to be specific, from the 1st of April this year to the 14th, and it will feature 23 African nations alongside host country Nigeria. How prepared are the Volleyball Federation of Nigeria?
I think that is another big question. How prepared are we? Have we, been in camp? I think we have not, and we are just hearing a few days ago that there is, an urgent meeting that was held by the, federation to see how they can also talk with the coach and see how we can be able to invite some of the best hand that we have. So I think preparation is key for me towards, making a good impact in any tournament at all. 23 countries will be converging right here in Lagos State, Nigeria, for that massive one. Then if we want to win it, then we need to start, preparation in earnest, so as for us to have maybe a better chance of, doing pretty well ahead of other countries, because the rest 23 countries that are coming here, they are not just coming here for jamborees, they are also coming here to win as well. So we must be able to prepare on time, get ready for whatever, but then that preparation has not started, and I doubt if we can actually come first in that very one.
Look forward to a favorable outing. The Volleyball Federation of Nigeria must put on our thinking caps to ensuring that we host and of course come out with a decent position at the end of the tournament, which starts on the 1st of April down to the 14th of April this year. Away from volleyball now, let's look at it coming from swimming, and there's a classic event, a para-swimming classic event said to be hosted here in Nigeria, where 45 athletes across the country are scheduled to take part. We understand the swimming event gets underway today to the 22nd at the swimming pool section of the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, Nigeria. Mike, this year's edition promises to welcome 5 days of intensive, what they call scientific training and analysis, leading to a full day contest. It is para-swimming.
Yes, para-swimming, but then I think for me the key highlight of this year's edition is about the introduction of the scientific and data, angle of it, because the world is, moving ahead, and we can't be left behind. Is it just good enough for us to organize a para-swimming competition ordinarily without attaching scientific, importance to it, whereas the world is gradually moving to more technologically advanced era? So we need to also align ourselves with that movement of technology. If not, we'll be lagging behind. Some of the Sena climb, this is what they do basically. They actually use scientific advancement to improve the course of their training as well, and that helps them whenever they get for world competitions such as the Commonwealth game. We talk about the Olympic game and the rest of it. So for me, I think that is the highlight of the this year's edition. The introduction of that scientific and data effect of it is going to serve more like an advanced method compared to what we'll be having in the past, which for me, I give the organizers a nod for that initiative.
Well, we just hope that something really good is in the offing, and we'll get to benefit from it. Now, talking about what is in the offing, the Nigeria Data Sports Festival is in the offing here, and chairman of the Scouting and Mentorship Subcommittee of the Regional Sports Festival, Godwin Ekene, has reiterated the committee's resolve to harness the best of talent discovered during the festival. According to Ekene and his sports journalists and of course administrative, the committee assembled the very best of scouts and coaches to identify, nurture, and expose young talents from the Niger Delta Sports Festival. This is coming up in just about a few weeks from now in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, where all the Niger Delta states will converge for a sports festival. Truly, we understand it's underage competition aimed at getting the talent. Mike, this is the way to go. It's not just about organizing a festival. You must have qualified technical officials, scouts, that will, scout this, spot this talent, and there must be a proper method of honing them and exposing them to the training methods that will see them get exposed to stardom. And I think this is a good initiative from the National Delta Sports Festival Committee.
Yeah, good initiative. I totally agree with you. Good initiative, and also having someone who has been there as an administrator and a renowned sport journalist over the years that knows what it takes to be able to, hunt and develop talent from the grassroots. Godwin Enahena is one name that you can't, overlook in terms of sport journalism right here in the country. Not just sport journalism, but administrative angle of it. That is what he brings to the table. And for such a man that has a proven character in terms of administrative angles, and then again you talk about sport journalism. I think he has what it takes, to be able to put his head together with other people that are qualified enough so as to for us to scout out the future talent. Because just like you say, regional tournament or any sporting activities is not just about coming to, there after the game, everybody goes to their way, nobody cares any longer. So I think for me that is what we'll be having over the years. But then having a proper constituted scouting team led by renowned administrator and sport journalists, I think that is going to give us an edge in this regional tournament for us to be able to discover the future talent. That is the way to go.
Well, let's get to badminton now. And in badminton, world number 2, Eniola Bolaji solidified her dominance in para badminton SL3 by winning her second medal in 2 weeks. Bola is making the headlines for very good reasons for Nigeria and para badminton.
For sure, for sure. I think her qualities is not in doubt any day, anytime. She's been able to conquer the African continent, and now she's taking it much higher to the world. A few weeks ago, she actually won her first trophy at the Madrid Open. This time around, doing it again against,
Halim Hizik from Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly tells you that
it was 2-0, 21-7, 21-10.
It was a total dominance, a clean sweep for her. That is to say that she has not just the better of her opponent, but had a total control of the game. I mean, this is our shining light. That is why we keep talking about discovery talent. That is why we keep talking about scouting. If proper scouting was not done, how would have been possible to discover Eniola Bolaji, one of the shining lights in the world of badminton in the world right now, not just in Nigeria, not just in Africa. And this is very exciting. This is very incredible, and we must keep giving her the needed support for her to continue to go on in the game.
In Victoria last week, she won, and Bolaji Eniola is no doubt world number 2 in para badminton, but it's on record that she's had 12 appearances on the international scene, and she still remains unbeaten.
Very unbeaten. Last time she was at 11 straight games unbeaten in international, making it 12 this time around. It's a record breaking for her, and I just believe that she can continue with this fine progression and continue to make name for herself, and also continue to put the country in the world map.
Talk about Eniola Bolaji, para badminton player who has continued to put the country proud. It reminds me, Mike, that para athletes continue to bring laurels and recognition to Nigeria than the able-bodied athletes.
And that is what we've been having over the years. But then you talk about the reward system. Is that equivalent to what their able-bodied counterpart get? Of course, no. The last Olympic game that we attended out there in France, it was such a disaster, coupled with a whole lot of shame performance out there. But then the para athlete, despite having a little of the money, because we heard that about 12 million naira or billion naira was budgeted for the last Olympic game. Out of that 12 billion, about 9 went to the able-bodied counterpart, 3 went to the Paralympian. The able-bodied counterpart went there, saw, couldn't conquer, did not even come out with a single medal. But the para-athlete that went out there did us proud. In fact, as it is on the record, the para-athlete has won more medals put together compared to what their able-bodied counterpart, which for me, I think more reward system need to be accorded to the para-athlete because of the achievement they have brought to the country.
If everything going from the National Sports Commission is what to go by, then the para-athletes are in for some kind of hallelujah, because right now the reward system is so good, labeled towards performances and of course what you get, and that's how you will be rewarded. And I think the para athletes are right now in a very good state to get reward for every achievement they bring and laurels they bring to the country in Nigeria. Away from para badminton now, let's look at boxing on the show. Mike, heavyweight boxing champion Alexander Usyk, he has rated Anthony Joshua as a better boxer than Daniel Dubois, despite Joshua's recent fifth-round knockout loss to Daniel Dubois himself. You think Alexander Usyk is right in his rating of Anthony Joshua above Daniel Dubois?
Definitely, he is right. Having tested the strength, the agility, the speed, the skills of both fighters, of both British fighter, I mean, there's no other person that's standing in a more better, position to actually.
We saw Daniel beat Anthony Joshua.
But then this is a man that have fought both fighters, defeated both of them, so he's standing in a more position to judge who has better strength or better fighting skills. Tony Joshua fought the same man in 2021 and 2022, and Usyk defeated both, him in both fights. Then against Daniel Dubois in 2023, it was a knockout against Daniel Dubois. So I think he stands in a better position, like I said earlier, to be able to weigh the strength and skills of both fighters. So it may not be wrong to state that Joshua is a better fighter compared to Daniel Dubois.
Joshua a better fighter than Daniel Dubois, and this is coming from Alexander Usyk. Of course, you know him. He's the just a triple award category winner in heavyweight boxing, the best you can find anywhere right now on planet Earth. Heavyweight boxing, World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, of course, International Boxing Federation title holder there. Now let's go to Formula One. And Mike, the 2025 Formula One season has started, and of course it's tagged the Australian Grand Prix. It's come and gone, and at the weekend we saw, let's say, unlikely winner McLaren driver Lando Norris win. But yes, I'm not really interested in who have won, but the race itself, very poor weather condition. As if that is not enough, we saw 7 crashes. And of course, 3 times they had to bring in the safety car.
I think it's not a good start for the 2025 Formula One season, especially on the track out there. This is not what we expect, especially having, the pre-season tournament, going smoothly. We didn't record even such a number of crashes during pre-season test run. When the race get on the way proper, we're able to record about 7 crashes. It doesn't really speak well for the 2025 Formula One season. But then I think some of the drivers are just still trying to acclimatize with the new engines from different there are different constructors out there, and this may be the reason why we recorded such a high amount of crash. But then away from that, I think the weather did not actually really help issue, because it was a poor clement weather out there. At some point they thought of even holding on, but then the Formula One president had to give a nod that the race should go on. I think this, for me, are some of the factors that contributed to that whether I'll call it a dismal start to the Formula One season. But then it is also good the Formula One season has kicked off. They can only just get better, as a Formula One season races continue to come along.
Multiple car crashes under very bad weather conditions in Australia. You had the Australian Grand Prix, and of course the first race of 2025 off in Formula One, and it was Lando Norris from McLaren that won the race. It is 0.8 seconds win over Max Verstappen of Red Bull. Red Bull and Max Verstappen dominated the entire 2024 Formula One race season, but now McLaren driver Lando Norris had to push the defending champion, so to say, to a 0.8 seconds lead and win.
Good one for McLaren. They were the only team or the only constructor that actually gave the Red Bull a run for this, Formula One before McLaren came in to bridge the gap and continued to chase till the end. So this time around, I said it that it wasn't going to be an easy Formula One season, because most of the constructors will be bidding to actually outwage the dominance of Red Bull and Max Verstappen. We're still looking up to, maybe Mercedes. Talk about Ferrari having Lewis Hamilton there, the McLaren doing that, chase last season. This time around, it's split second, a differentiate, but them is still a win for them. And from the way it is going this season, we take a look at the quality of drivers that McLaren has. There are two drivers, they are very key. But you talk about Red Bull, it is just only one man.
Talk about two drivers for McLaren. Nastri, the other driver, so interestingly, at the stage, he was instructed not to be ahead of Norris, and I think he'll be feeling that maybe he should have been the person who won. But again, the technical instructions did come back as a stage for him to relax, for Lando Norris to go ahead of him, and so it looks like we'll have to really watch out the instructions this time around, because both drivers had a chance of winning this one.
Yeah, of course, that is the principles of the team. As last season, we experienced the same thing as well. So, Lando Norris is their first driver, while he's a second driver. So, most time, this is how they try to maybe, in their own discretion, rate it. And I think it is not good for me taking a look at that rules. It doesn't really, help the second drivers to also even try to improve, because he knows that, oh, if I try to improve to get ahead of my teammates, they will give me an instruction to relax and allow him to take over. It doesn't really work out well, but then we hope that they are going to sort that out themselves. And that is why I'm saying that they have an edge over Red Bull, because Red Bull only,
and incidentally, in the first race of the season, he came 10th. In fact, the second place driver for Mercedes, I'm sorry, Ferrari now even came 8th ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton days are getting struggling, or you think he can get better? This is the first race of the season and his first time driving for them. But 10th place position for me looks not good for the driver with the most win in Formula One, 7 times world champion.
For me, I think he's still trying to adapt to his new employers, still trying to adapt to the new engine, and of course he was feeling very good during the off season, during their test run. They keep saying that he's very excited and he's adapting very fast. Let's hope that he has not gotten that total adaptation. Maybe after 4 or 5 races in the season, we'll get to see if he can be able to adapt properly and make a difference.
Well, that's it for Formula One, but we say congratulations to Lando Norris for his first win of the season, and that to me looks good. His first win of 2025 and overall 5th win in Formula One. 4 of these wins coming from pole position, Mike. I can't fail to let our viewers know this. 4 times he started as in pole position, he's won. Last night we saw him starting from pole position and he did win.
Yeah, that may be his own strength, and if he actually,
in spite of the chaos of driving, through crashes.
And again, I think he's been able to master the antics and the intrigues of Max Verstappen, who always use a dangerous.
So the man who has just won his very first for 2025, Lando Norris for McLaren, and I think it's interesting days ahead of Formula One, because McLaren is still there, and of course George Russell getting on the podium as well. It shows an indication that Mercedes is getting to challenge for more titles and wins this year. We'll take a break now. When we return from a break, we'll bring you some more exciting stories, especially in tennis, where there's been a new kid on the block at the Indian Wells tennis championship. Beyond that, Newcastle United is winning our very first trophy in 56 years overall. A lot of people talk about 70 years, but we'll get to know why it is 70 years and why that's interested Newcastle fans. Beyond that, Liverpool, I don't think will be feeling good this morning, because they've lost yet another title, another final, and that's not looking good at all. And just the money that is involved. There is a lot more to talk about. Teams have qualified for Europe. That's an indication that you have to get serious even with the little tournament. When we come back from the break, we'll give you details of which of the teams have qualified for European competition next season. Stay with us.